Hey folks, it's Lindsey Huddleston with SPS back in the building over at Wall Lake Western, home of the Warriors. I'm sitting down with head coach Duane. Good to see you again. We were talking about culture, and you were just taking me on a ride about how important it is to establish that. So you mind talking a little bit about that a little bit more?
So we talk about how teams are like families. You don't get to pick your teammates, you don't get to pick your family members. So you gotta love each other no matter what. And we use that the whole cliche of team together when achievers more. Love each other, work hard, and do what we do. That's kind of our saying. And so, coming out here, do little things and make sure we have touches with guys and stuff like that. Get them to understand what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish, and just, kind of build that whole, open-minded, open, communication with
they
guys.
feel that this is a great opportunity. Right. So you and I, because we got a few grades between the two of us, so we have that wisdom, and we can call these saying cliche. But is it really new to the young people once you pass it on? Is it like their first encounter sometimes?
I think it's the first encounter sometimes. I don't think they've heard it, but as parents hear it and stuff like that, they go around and stuff like that.
It stays around for a reason, doesn't it?
There's our first hand of what we do here. Practices, like you just saw in our last drill, everybody touches the ball before we get to shoot the ball. Everybody feels involved. So you're not running run drill. We put the bigs with the guards and the guards with the bigs and make them do all the same things, so they all feel they're a part of it, so that they don't feel like they're left out or isolated or any kind of like, well, you can't do this because you don't play the spot. And you never know when you're going to have to sub in to play that spot. So.
This may be a tough question for you. I just thought about this. What's more difficult, having less of a talented team that you have to coach up, or a very talented team that you have to get to buy in?
Well, I've been in both boats. I think the hardest thing is getting a team that's struggling to buy in.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter.
Despite their talent.
It doesn't, despite their talent. Sometimes talented teams struggle knowing that you have to share the ball, and sometimes you have lesser talented teams knowing that they're capable of getting it done, and they have self-doubt.
Sure.
And in today's society, I really think a lot of these kids need the proof to see it. And like we kind of talked about at the extravaganza like that, is that they're starting to see what the fruits of the labor, everything they're putting in there. So seeing that happen, and they're starting to feel more confidence. And that's the biggest thing. And we talk about making sure we're loud, we're talking to each other, we're cheering each other on, because even though he misses that shot, shake it off, you get the next one.
Right.
I mean, you've seen that in a couple of our drills already, where we're talking to the guys of, we got to get 200 points, and we end up with 240 because even though kids miss shots, they still are there building each other.
They get that. Coach, in the day and time, particularly in high school, not necessarily college and pro, it seems like so many greats are walking away. You seem to be 2 feet in right now. What's keeping you so inspired, keeping you locked in when this new generation that people talk about?
I got a great group of guys. I mean, I really do. I have guys that really inspire me sometimes. Watching them when they accomplish something, you can see it in them. And we lost Isaac, who was our senior captain.
Right.
He just had knee surgery. Matter of fact, on the 30th and stuff like that.
Okay. Praying for Isaac.
We did. We took the boys over, surprised them over at New Year's Day. It was a great time. But guys like him, before he got hurt this summer, really kind of asked a lot of inspiring questions and stuff like that, and really kind of like challenged me. Like, hey, coach, can we do this? What if we did this, and what if we did this way? And did it like the right way. Some kids are going to come at you and say, I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. I always say, come to me with a solution, not a problem. If you got a solution, we'll talk about it.
So by giving them that pre-thought, they kind of work through it before they bring it to you, and it's a little bit more palatable, and you can accept it. Because I know from an authoritative standpoint, sometimes we just really don't want to hear what someone else has to say in that regard.
The whole saying is, once you know everything, you know nothing. So you got to be open to this, and honestly, to be able to coach these kids nowadays, you got to be willing to listen to them. Not everything they're going to say is going to work, and you be upfront and honest with them. Say, hey, that one's not going to work, but if we can maybe do this, maybe do that, there's some things we can modify and adjust.
Coach, doesn't that conflict with your constitution internally when it's a kid questioning you, not necessarily disrespectfully, but from which we came from?
Right. So what we are used to, is that kids are not allowed to question coaches, but guess what? As a coach, we're not always right. And sometimes they see things on the floor, or there's things that they are capable of doing that we don't realize that they're capable of doing. So we have to be open to change, because the world is changing. If you don't accept change, then you're going to fall behind. So being able to open that up. Now, there's certain times, like you said, respectfully, you got to do it. If it's disrespectful, there'll be a conversation. But these kids understand that. That's why having these individual meetings and talking with these guys and talking to them, or going over and then watching film with them, because we watch film together And these guys, and they'll see it, and they'll say something, and they'll understand something, and it just watching them grow.
Seeing them grow, huh?
And when they come up with an idea and they own it, I almost kind of look at it as, think about the Detroit Lions and how they talk about where the players sit there, work those trick plays all week. They own that. They get excited about that. They bought in. Well, when you're doing your own plays, and the players say, "Hey, coach, if we modify to do this and this here, can we do this way?" And then, that makes sense. Let's do it. Like that. And if it doesn't make sense, then you got to tell them, "No, it's not going to make sense, but let's find a way to make it work."
I love that. So if someone comes to see Wall Lake Western play, what are they going to see on the court when you put your guys out there?
Hard work. These kids play. They're just tenacious.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't quit. I mean, no matter what they get down. I mean, we got up, we got down, we can keep coming back at it.
Where does that come from?
Their heart. This is on them. I mean, they love each other. They play really hard for each other. These kids, I mean, they're really tight. They go to Buffalo Wild Wings and have lunches together. They do a lot of this on their own.
Sure.
That's how it has to be. Because if your coach is your only leader, you're in trouble. And you need to have leadership from each side. And the crazy part, not even only that, is how they are with the varsity. They're also that with the freshmen and the JV team.
Yeah.
They bring them in, they hug them and to show them that they're part of something.
Sure.
I mean, like they'll play that 2-ball game, or King of the Court, but they all intertwine.
That's a great thing.
And the thing is because we're so young, it works out that well. I mean, the seniors accept the freshmen and want to challenge the seniors.
Okay.
And that's the great part about it.
Yeah. How do you keep the kids here and not get them attracted to other trappings around the area? This is a very influential community. How do you keep them here?
Well, I mean, we always thought we coach the kids that want to be here.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it is.
Coach the kids that want to be here.
Yep, that is. I mean, if they choose to go other places, I'm good luck to you. And if you need anything, I'm always here for you. But coach the kids that want to be here because that's where we are. That's the difference with coaching at a public school versus a private school.
Right.
Is that when you're at a public school, you got to coach the kids that are here, and you got to work with them. And it's on you to develop them.
Sure.
And stuff like that. And if they want to work, it's great. But they also have to want to work, right?
Sure.
You only get 2 hours a night with them, and after that, it's on their own. So it's the conversation is you have to bring the energy and effort. We'll bring the coaching.
Bring everything else. We talked earlier. You said you got Milford coming up. Talk about what the rest of the season going, and now that we're in the New Year's, going to be looking like.
We're hitting a tough road right here, right now. We got Milford, we got Mott, we got Law Lake Central, we got Clarkston.
Oh wow!
I mean,
it's a gauntlet.
It's a gauntlet and stuff like that. And I always say you get better playing your bigger brother, not your little brother. And so we may take
you dropping them today, man.
We may take our lumps, but I'm here to tell you, we're going to grow from it.
Yeah, it goes. And this is not the beginning. This is not the time where you measure success. It's all about how you build going forward. To the Wall Lake Central, excuse me, that's a bad word. The Wall Lake Western community, right? Forgive me. Any message you have for me? Anything you want to share?
We just appreciate your guys' support. I mean, everything's great. We love the Warriors. Love the kids. It's a great atmosphere.
Coach, it was a pleasure meeting you at the North Farmington Holiday Extravaganza, and thank you for your hospitality here today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, enjoy it.
Yep.
With that being said, guys, this is Lindsey Hellison with SPS, and we'll see you next time.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.